Hey, welcome back to all the Marios. I'm the conqueror of the cosmic cube, Doc Phoenix.
And you can call me Compy Nick, because that's my name.
And today we are starting a Game & Watch Gallery 4. And before we talk about that, let's take a moment to just appreciate what the fuck is going on this title screen.
Mario fell.
It's Mario's show, as you can see on the carpet there. Mario came out balancing on a ball, and everybody is here watching. Bowser is here. Junior is here. Donkey Kong Jr.
Oh, yeah, he is.
There's a Bob-omb. There's just an egg. There's a freshly hatched Yoshi there. There's a bird.
Dangerous. There's another bird.
Picker. There's a Goonie.
Yeah.
There's
Wario's confused.
all sorts of things happening. So this is Game & Watch Gallery 4. Like the previous Game & Watch Gallery games, it has an autosave feature. When you're paused, if you turn the game off, you'll get autosaved in the middle. So, Game & Watch. We've done Game & Watch Gallery games before. It's a series of Game & Watch games. In this, when you hover over one of the games for a little bit, on the menu, you get a little animation.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's for Fire is going to be our first game. This game does have some repeats from earlier Game & Watch galleries.
Like Fire.
Like Fire, because this is the Game Boy Advance one, and they pulled some of the ones from the Game Boy and Game Boy
dear.
Color.
Oh boy.
Bombs all over the place. Bombs raining down forever.
Bombs away.
So, for anyone who does not know, who hasn't seen the previous Game & Watch Gallery games, the way that they work is you have a series of Game & Watch games, you get a classic version and a modern version, classic being the original release, modern being a new version of the same game concept, done with like modern graphics and the Mario characters and such. For each game, you have easy and hard modes. For the original Game & Watch games, that would be Game A and Game B. And you earn stars based on the high scores that you get in each game in each mode. So this first game, Fire, it's a very simple concept, very simple game. You have people jumping out of this infinitely burning building. You control the little firemen with the thing catching people at the bottom there. You move left and right, and that's it. And you just need to be in the right spot to catch the person as they reach the thing so they don't fall onto the ground. Each person that you catch gives you 1 point. If they hit the ground, you get a miss. If you get 3 misses, that's a game over. At 200, 500 points, you will clear 1 miss. If you have any misses, you will lose 1 of them, so you get like a life back. Mm-hmm. And the goal is to reach 1,000. That's when you get 5 stars for the Game & Watch Gallery, is at 1,000 points. And, so that's the basics of Game & Watch Gallery. That's the basics of Fire. Fire we saw back in Game & Watch Gallery 1.
Yep.
And Fire is one of the harder Game & Watch games, which means it was a great warm-up for me for the rest of
I get it.
the things here.
Warm up.
So, this took me a couple of hours to kind of get back into the swing of things. But the rest of this game, the rest of Game & Watch Gallery 4, was actually really smooth.
That is a blessing.
Yeah, Game & Watch Gallery 3, for longtime viewers would know, gave me a hell of a time. That took, like, how long did that take? 50, 60 hours?
We can
Something
check
like
our
that.
stats.
The sidebar will say what that was. But yeah, it took an exorbitant number of hours. Some of the games took like 14 hours on their own, just for like one of the games in the set. But this Game & Watch Gallery 4 was very, very smooth. Like, getting through Fire took me a couple of hours just to get back into the swing of things, get back used to how things go, and get my reflexes back up. But once I got into it, all of the other games in this set are, with 1 or 2 exceptions, really just good and not painful.
Good old classic high score chasing.
So, in the classic Game & Watch games, when you clear 1,000 points, it loops. 999 is the largest point score number it can show there. And so that's why it says 100 now, because it's over 1,000. And I'm just kind of showing off. This is my winning run where I cleared 1,000 points, and this is how far I got. Usually, I like to keep going as long as I can.
Yeah.
Just to see, how far I can get. And there's a new item in the gallery. So, as you earn stars from playing the games, you unlock items in the gallery. You know, there's Game & Watch Gallery, there's the Game & Watch part, and there's the gallery part. We'll check out the gallery part later on, when we're done with all the Game & Watch stuff. So in hard mode Fire, there is a mechanical difference in that now people will jump from the middle balcony as well as the top. So you see sometimes people show up from the middle there, which makes it more difficult because they are lower down. You have to react more quickly to rush over there to catch them.
2 different timings.
So, yeah, again, Fire is, it's very hard, but it's also one of the best Game & Watch games, in my opinion, because it is very frantic, it's very reflex-heavy, it gives you plenty of, you can look at the screen and have very clear information about what is happening, where do you need to be at a given moment. And you can, look ahead to see where you're going to need to be and what's coming, and it's very... This is one of the top Game & Watch games in my book. It is kind of the epitome of a good Game & Watch game.
It's only 2 buttons, right? Left and right?
Just the 2, left and right. That's all you've got.
That's kind
and
of...
just 3 positions that you can be in.
The purest form of Game & Watch, really.
So, and just kind of to further kind of explain for some people who may not understand what all of this is, Game & Watch was Nintendo's product line of handheld electronic games back before the NES. Mm-hmm. This was one of their earliest electronic games. It was after they were doing arcade stuff already, I believe, but it was LCD screens with a painted backdrop that could only show these little black sprites in places, specific locations on the screen. Mm-hmm. So, that's why you kind of see the silhouettes along here. That's the locations on...
where they light up.
Yeah, and, obviously this is emulated. This is a Game Boy Advance game. It's emulating what the original Game & Watch game was like. But, that's what you would see on the screen. And so you can see exactly all the possible positions where a person can be, the arc that they will follow, and every clock tick, they will advance one step closer towards, moving towards the ambulance there. This is, of course, how you save people from a fire. You bounce them into an ambulance through the roof directly.
This is, of course, the game part of the Game & Watch. The other part was, it was actually a watch as well.
Yeah,
it had on your wrist.
It had a clock.
Remember when you wore watches? You probably don't, because you have a cell phone that has a clock on it now. We don't need
You actually
watches.
could not wear a Game & Watch game on your wrist. They were a little too large for that.
I could, because I wore power gloves.
I do love the Power Glove.
It's so bad.
Anyway, the watch function is not actually duplicated in the Game & Watch gallery versions of them, sadly. But that is why you see there is a 4th digit up in the score value up there. It doesn't. That 4th digit cannot display score. That's used for the time display. So in this emulated remake of it, that 4th digit has no value. It's just it doesn't light up ever.
But that's where
the time display would be. Yeah, the 2-digit hour and 2-digit minute time display. And so here on Game & Watch on Fire Hard, I got really into the groove of this. Like I said, it took me a little bit to kind of get used to things and kind of get back into the swing of things. But once I'm in the zone, I just go. I looped to 2,000 on this one.
Nice.
So that felt good. And yeah, again, this was a really great start. It took a while, and hey, look, this is where we're unlocking stuff. We got Mr. Game & Watch over there from Smash Bros. Melee.
Hey!
Have you played all of the games yet? No, I've played one of the games. I'm good at them. There are still more classic Game & Watch titles.
He has a voice?
That's the voice I'm giving him. For starters, I'll give you Chef.
Oh.
Catch the food and cook it, but don't let it hit the floor. But do you think Peach is a better chef than I am? I mean, we've seen clearly she is not. She does not know how to cook.
Okay.